Welcome back everyone to WEDO Canada Pay It Forward. I am so excited for you to hear from my special guest, Saawan of Northwater. It is such a great honor to have this amazing entrepreneur who has created a mineral water right from our backyard from the Rocky Mountains. So stay tuned and listen to her amazing story. Welcome. I'm Milena Radakovic, and this is WEDO Pay It Forward. Welcome back, everyone, to WEDO Canada Pay It Forward. I am so excited to have my next guest, Saawan from Northwater, one of my favorite waters to have because it is a reusable bottle that my kids love and love carrying it around. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited. Your story and journey is absolutely inspirational.
Thank you.
We have a variety of people in our audience who are in the startup phase or are mature entrepreneurs who are looking to grow their business, and you have a bit of everything. Can you tell us how your journey happened from leaving a career, a successful career, to starting your own business?
Yeah, it was a desire to do more, to find more, and to find me. And, I think we all come to a stage in our lives when we're like, what's next? What's more for me? And where do I want to be? What do I want to be when I grow up? And that was kind of the start of it. And, my love for Canada, I wanted to do something that was going to showcase that. My happy place happens to be the Canadian Rockies. And I remember making a joke one day saying, if only I could bottle my love for the Canadian Rockies into something. And I didn't realize it was going to be a statement I was actually going to live and breathe someday. And here I am. Journey was not easy. Let's be honest. It's a lot of, when you start something so new, there's so much self-doubt. There's so much learning, and you sometimes wonder, am I even capable to learn anymore, or am I not? And but it takes champions and it takes a village, and I've been fortunate to have both.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm here not because of just me, it's because of the village and my champions.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I'm looking at some of them around here.
Oh, you're so sweet. I have to say, I was so inspired by, a lot of entrepreneurs that I've met, especially female entrepreneurs. They start a business that is to support the community and to follow their passion. Can you talk about right now what your next growing phase for your business, the international world that you're facing?
Yeah, so we're looking at obviously exporting. We've learned that Canadians love Canada, but we're not as proud and excited about what's Canadian as much as the rest of the world is. So we saw that opportunity, and sure enough, it's the case. So we're now deeply into the export market of Asia mostly, where there's demands for clean, great water, where the income levels are rising, which means you've got a new middle class, and the new middle class wants something that is better for them. COVID has taught them that it's okay to pay a higher price point for things that align with their values, and Northwater fits right into that.
Fantastic. So during that journey, so if we have someone in our audience who's been a fairly good success like yourself in the Canadian market, what are some tidbits that you could offer, some learning experience to get into an international market?
Yeah, I think, I'll take a step back and I'll mention about I know part of our topic here we want to discuss is vulnerability, and so I want to take a step back into that. I think first of all, when you start something, get a hold of the domestic market first. Your neighbors, your friends, your family, your own country needs to embrace you first. And it's the most difficult market to penetrate is your own market. Especially when a Canadian market is flooded with all things amazing. You have to stand out, and how do you do that? And so I think it's starting there and making sure that you've come from a place where you can be truthful to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be true to your own story, because at the end of the day, the best way to relate to the person beside you is through your story. And if you can make a connection with people beside you and around you, it's easier to then take that connection and multiply it, because it multiplies and grows itself, because that story spreads, and the story doesn't have borders. And in the day and world we live in, we don't have borders anymore. So it's starting there. It's build your story around your own value system, and be open to that, walk that path, ask for help, and you'll see how many people can relate to you. Because I found that in my life, is that every time I've come to a place where I'm close to giving up because I'm so tired and I'm so broken and I feel like I've done everything I could have and I have one roadblock after another, the universe immediately opens the door to someone who I can share my state with, and the person comes in the most miraculous ways possible, and those boundaries keep expanding because our stories keep expanding, and our stories, as said, have no boundaries. And so getting into international market is the same. Asia is a market built on relationships. It's not a market built on just pure trade. It's very important to be able to share a meal with somebody. It's very important to be able to sit with somebody and build a connection. And once you've done that, then it's fair game. And then it's just about making sure you do everything else to be successfully positioned, to be positioned in a way that you can be successful.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And when you're going into the international market, and you were talking about Asia, how did you choose that market? So if our audience is saying, okay, I'm just trying to do a SWOT analysis of the international market, how did you narrow it down that it was the Asian market, so that our audience can say, maybe this is something that I've overmissed and I need to look at the Asian market?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. You need to be able to, we dream big, like everybody does, like worlds as big as you can get, right? Your universe is. Narrowing it down to, if you have a certain clientele that you are targeting, does your client exist within the market you're going after? Because there's three types of customers you're going to get. One that are already converted because they know your brand and love it, or love what your brand represents. There's another that doesn't know if they care enough about it, and there's one that doesn't care at all. So make sure the easiest step is the low-hanging fruit, one that will already have an appreciation. And if you've never sold in a market before, try the market where there's enough people that will want to follow your brand. So for me, that was how I kind of dissected the market.
Right.
And then also you want a market that has somewhat lower barriers of entry.
Okay.
Because the higher the barriers of entry, the harder it gets and more expensive it gets, and it can be a very costly experiment. So keep the experiment cost down by choosing the low-hanging fruit. It's the easiest way I can describe.
I like that. And your audience, you've got a consumer audience and a business audience.
Yeah.
So if somebody who has a product line that is in both, is there one that you look at more than other? Like, which one would you say, when you're talking about the target audience, that you start off with first? Is it the consumer, or are you looking at working with the businesses? I know from experience, like say the hotel marketing, etc.
So I would start with the business.
Okay.
Only because you're in a market, to get into a B2C, to get into a consumer market, you have to have boots on the ground. And it's multiplying those people. So the easiest way to do it is to go in with somebody who already has the presence. And it's an easier way to enter a market, is to go through, a lot, like if you're going to US as an example, go into the Whole Foods instead of going and targeting individuals on an e-commerce platform.
Right.
So it allows you to already capture the audience that has been built by a brand that's existing, and they've done the work for you. So find those, and even in a B2B world, find those that line up and align with your values, align with your products, align with your consumer group, and that's where your consumer group stops, then that's your market.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. This has been absolutely amazing. You gave some great tips, and to our audience who is looking to take the plunge and be vulnerable to start your own business. And then as you progress and you're in growing market and going into international, as Saawan said, look at your target audience. Does it match the core values and the vision and mission that you have for your company, for the business that you're partnering with? I love that. I've got a question for you. What woman has inspired you or helped you in your progress as an entrepreneur?
I wish I could name one. There's so many. And from the very beginning, like I said, like just if I looked around my own network, I've got people like Caitlin Bullock, who's been around, who introduced me to you. So it's been a ripple effect of women in my own network itself. And then there's been, of course, women who I've never met in my life, but I've read about and seen, and whether it's seen on TV or known, or just followed their journey. So I think there's a number of women around that I can, but the nearest and dearest are the ones that are in Calgary for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you or would like to buy this beautiful water, whereabouts could they learn more about Northwater and learn more about yourself?
drinknorthwater.com. Pretty easy.
Love it. Very easy. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone in the audience, and stay tuned for another episode of We Do Canada Pay It Forward. Thank you to our sponsors, Caitlin Bullock and Adam Colazetti from Enta Solutions, for paying it forward and supporting the next generation of female entrepreneurs. If you're inspired and want to join a We Do community, then go on WeDoCanada.com and also nominate and sponsor the next inspirational woman.